And today we're trying to answer the question of where should I live in Louisville, Kentucky? I'm at Gatewood, principal broker of Gatewood Properties in Kentucky, and wanted to talk a little bit about answering the question whether you're moving to Louisville or from here of where should I live. So I'm going to talk more in terms of generalities and just get you familiar with the areas. My goal today is just a good general understanding, not necessarily specifics. If you do have more specific questions, I'm happy to answer that for those areas and more specific neighborhoods that we'll talk about. Which we're talking about Louisville, which is sometimes referred to as the city of neighborhoods. If you've had an opportunity, there is, or a good opportunity, there's a How to Get Around Louisville, Kentucky video that I also shot that talks about how the interstates, 65s are north and south, 64 east to west, you got 71 coming out, and then two loops, 264 the Waterson and 265 the Gene Steiner. And today we're going to kind of talk about those loops. We're going to talk about the kind of sections of each of those loops. We're going to come around the different parts of the city and talk about some of those neighborhoods. An area among those areas. So we'll just jump right in and talk about downtown, just right there on the river, on the Ohio River. Mostly commercial real estate. You're going to get a little bit of some residential, some of the luxury condos and things like that, but primarily you'll be dealing with some of the commercial area there. However, as we kind of move east of there, you're going to get to the New Lou area, Butchertown, Paristown, Smoketown, or kind of heading east of that area. And then as we head kind of out from there, so looking up towards 71, which is towards Cincinnati, we're gonna keep talking about inside the Waterson for a while, inside that 264. And at first we'll talk about north of I-64. Neighborhoods like Clifton, Crescent Hill, Indian Hills, St. Matthews are some of the areas that are kind of known in there. And St. Matthews is actually the area, Woodlawn Park specifically, the neighborhood that I grew up in. So that area is some more established type areas. You'll get a variation, some smaller up to some pretty large houses, especially like Indian Hills and some of the St. Matthews part, and even some of the Crescent Hill as well. So you're going to get kind of an established, older area that's sought after because of its convenience, both coming up 64 in 71, heading to downtown or heading to the areas farther out, shopping, things of that things to do in that area. There's a lot to do. As we're kind of rounded around the other way, you've got south of 64, but you're still east of 65 inside the Waterson. You're going to find neighborhoods like Germantown, Highlands, Audubon Park, Parkway Village in there. The Highlands is actually the area I live in currently, just kind of right there by the Waterson Expressway. And actually, I used to live in the Germantown area. Germantown's going to be, speaking so specifically, shotgun houses, some older homes through there, kind of all these areas, Audubon Park, Highlands, all that. And you get some variations in size and style through those. But again, kind of this established area with convenience getting toward downtown and surrounding areas. As we kind of wrap around the other way, you're going to get into Old Louisville, Churchill Downs, the Taylor Berry neighborhoods, and then kind of moving around. We're still in the waters within Portland, Park Duval. You hear some of those areas in the West End. Speaking specifically to Old Louisville, that was an established historic area that goes way back, where some of the old mansions were. And some of those have been converted to duplexes, triplexes, and things like that, but they're also still houses to live in. And you'll hear about Central Park and kind of that's around that area there. And then as we kind of go outside, so it's kind of making that first loop outside 264, we're going to see the Shawnee area up and kind of quite close to the river, Shawnee Park and everything on that part of the Waterson. And then as it kind of wraps around, you're going to see like Shively is right there inside the Waterson. But we're going to move into the southwest corner of Jefferson County, which we actually refer to most of the time as the South End. So you'll hear the South End referred to, but really what we're talking about is the southwest corner. That's going to be your Shively, your PRP, your Valley Station, and that is going to be down Dixie Highway that heads toward Fort Knox. Now you'll get, that was kind of an area. My grandfather built houses and such out that way where, 50s, 60s, and on of a lot of like ranch houses on lots, garages. Will be a lot of that area through there. And then as we kind of wrap in, heading east of Dixie and start heading towards 65, still within that Waterson, is you're going to get into the Beachmont area toward your Iroquois Park. Can be pretty sought after because of its convenience to the Waterson and also being able to cut up 3rd Street and everything to get into downtown as well. So that's kind of as we're wrapping that way. And then as you head east of 65, is again still within the Waterson, 264. We're going to get into the Newburgh, Oklahoma, Highview, Fern Creek sort of area through there. Variation of different types of houses through there. And still convenient to get things. GE Appliance Park, or Hire is now the company there, is around that area toward the Newburgh. And then you're kind of getting close to the Gene Steiner. A lot of the areas over there where people like being a little bit maybe farther out from downtown with some of the houses, but still being able to get convenience to cut over from the Snyder to 65 or whatever is most convenient for them in that area. So, and as we kind of keep going around, you're going to get toward Jeffersontown, which you'll be referred to as J-Town. That's actually where my wife grew up, kind of suburban area there. Lots of different variation of houses, kind of a popular area that also has its own little downtown area, kind of a city among the city that has, a few shops and restaurants and such in there. And then a couple points kind of in that area, you hear about Hikes Point and St. Regis Park, kind of sandwiched in between those are some popular areas for a lot of residential real estate as well. And then as we keep going up, like between 64 and 71, inside that Snyder area, you can get Douglas Hills, Plainview, Hirschborn, Anchorage, Graymoor, Devondale, Plantation, Barbara Meade. You hear a lot of those neighborhoods. It's just like kind of east end of Louisville, you hear it referred to as. And so there's there's some suburban expansion as you came out of downtown area historically. You've got a lot of those neighborhoods through there. There are some older homes kind of mixed in there too, because the city was already established there, but it was, some of the suburban growth came out that way as well as you head toward the Snyder. And then as we kind of head a little bit more north toward the river, like outside the Snyder, you're going to get some river properties there on the water. You're going to be heading toward Prospect. Norton Commons area is a popular area through there. And then as we kind of come around all throughout the Snyder, you're going to see Springhurst outside the Snyder, kind of far northeast corner, Beckley, Eastwood, east outside the Snyder, Seatonville as you're wrapping around, Fairdale as you're heading back toward the south end on that way. So those are kind of the areas back around that additional loop outside of the Snyder, which is between the Gene Snyder and the edge of Jefferson County. And then that's going to put us to all the surrounding counties. And then as we kind of talk about all the interstates or main kind of thoroughfares that lead you out towards, say, like Oldham County in the top kind of northeast corner, you hear about Pewee Valley, Crestwood, Goshen, LaGrange, and they all have kind of their different flavor, different style of aspects of both neighborhoods, convenience, culture even of kind of in each of those areas. And then as you kind of as we're going to head around, you have Shelby County with Simpsonville and Shelbyville. Go towards Spencer County, which is Taylorsville. You may hear Taylorsville Lake. There's also, as you head out that way, a lot of different property out that way. And then as we head around toward Bullitt County, you'll get Mount Washington, Zone 10, and Shepherdsville. So you get that kind of as it heads south, and there's some a lot of like warehouses, Amazon has some warehouses and stuff like that out that way as you're heading down 65 toward that way. As well, I also hear about some of the other counties like Nelson County, where Bardstown isn't that far. It's not exactly adjacent, but it's not that far away. Meade County, you hear about Doe Valley and things of that sort. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief overview of like what these sections are and kind of what neighborhoods are in each section, and just a little bit about each of those. People ask you, do you sell in all these? I sell in all these different counties, both in Jefferson and all the adjacent counties, and sometimes a little bit outside of that as well, in addition to some of the lake properties. So I'm always happy to answer those questions. I'm a Louisville native. grew up around it and know the areas well. So always happy to help on that. So if you get any questions, I'd love to help you. If you get an opportunity, I have a lot of different videos about real estate and city. You can subscribe to that. Contact me and look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.